Folklore, welcome, and how are you? My name is Darren McCann, and welcome to the Dark Oak Folklore and Mythology podcast. Folklore, myths, and legends have brought countless generations of storytellers and people from every corner of the world closer together, just through sheer imagination and awe. In this podcast, I'm firstly going to explore Irish, Gaelic, and Celtic folklore, mythologies, and legends, as well as doing bios on mystical creatures, great warriors, gods, and goddesses of the ancient Emerald Isle. Also, you will hear most of Ireland's epic, mythical fables and characters who are full of nothing but passion, fury, fearlessness, heroism, and in most cases, heartache and sorrow. Now, I'm just starting off, so the audio may be a little bit, so please, no death threats, yeah? Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. I really would love to hear what you guys think. Enjoy. The Dagda's Harp. So, the Dagda, or the Irish An Dagda, is one of the most important, prolific gods in the Irish, Celtic, and Gaelic pantheon. The chief of the Tuatha Da Danann. The Dagda is portrayed as an all-father figure, a king and a druid. He is associated with fertility, agriculture, manliness, and strength, as well as magic, druidry, and wisdom. He is said to even have control over life and death, the weather and crops, as well as time and the seasons. So yeah, pretty powerful deity. He is often described as a large bearded man or a giant wearing a hooded cloak, carrying a large wooden club behind him. So very Odean, which is actually a word that was coined and phrased by J.R.R. Tolkien of Lord of the Rings fame. Obviously, you know. There are many more tales on the Dagda, but for this story, this is all you need to know about him. It has been known that there were two distinctive types of peoples in ancient Ireland. One group of these people had long, thick, dark hair and dark, piercing eyes. These were known as the Fomorians. They were armed with long, slender spears made from the finest gold and bronze. And then there were the other group, who sported golden hair and bright blue eyes. They themselves, armed with smaller, heavier spears, forged with dull metals. They were known as the Tuatha Da Danann. The golden-haired peoples, or the Tuatha Da Danann, had a strong, fierce, respected, but feared leader, king and chieftain, but also a high priest, druid, and an all-father figure of sorts. He was known as the Dagda. The Dagda had many prized possessions. His cauldron of plenty, which never ran dry and could feed as many people as he sat down with. His mighty and terrifying club, which struck fear in the hearts of all enemies. With one end and a simple swing could end the lives of numerous men. But with the other side, could actually restore life back to the men he has taken from. But none was more prized than his wondrous harp. Now by all means, this was no ordinary harp. It was utterly beautiful. It was made with the rarest wood found in ancient Ireland, and it was enormous in size. It was encrusted with gold and with jewels. The Dagda, and the Dagda alone, was the only one who could actually play this enchanted instrument. When his men were ready and were marching into fight, the Dagda would stand on the largest mound overlooking them, set up his harp, and moved his hands amongst the fine strings. A war song would ring out, echoing through the land, striking fear in the hearts of his enemies. And it mentions here that his warriors each would buckle on his armour, brace his knees, and shout, "Forth to the fight!" After his men returned from battle, tired, worn out, hurt, the Dagda would once again take out his harp and play a few chords, and as the enchanted melodies swept through their camp like a spirit, all warriors would forget their pain, their troubles, and their woes. His warriors would feel honourable and feel a renewed sense of worth and camaraderie for his brothers and his sisters who had fought beside him. Then as the music began to get louder and more intense, each warrior forgot everything but the greatness and the glory he or she had helped to win for their king, their chieftain, their Dagda. Each warrior would then arise at the large wooden tables where they feasted and celebrate, all holding up their drinks and shout, "Long live the king." Then there came the time, just like the time before that, and just like the time before that, war had begun between the Fomorians and the Tuatha Da Danann. And during this mighty battle, the Dagda's hall was not as well guarded as it would usually be. Some of the chieftains of the Fomorians broke into the Tuatha Da Danann's camp and stole the enchanted harp from the wall where it was mounted in the Dagda's feast hall. Their families and some soldiers fled with them. Through the dark, starry, cold nights, they fled with haste through the forests, not stopping at all through all the night, and getting as far away from the screams and the blood-soaked battlefield as possible. They eventually found a vacant castle by the roadside. As the feeling of finally being safe and far enough away from the dreaded bloodshed washed over them, they all sat down to a victorious feast, hanging the stolen harp behind them upon the wall. The Dagda, of course, being all-knowing as he was, instantly knew his most prized and beloved possession had been stolen. Quickly, he brought 2 warriors with him and followed, all throughout the night, the tracks of the traitorous chieftains. As the thieving chieftains and their kin were in the middle of feasting, the large wooden doors of the castle exploded open, and there stood the hooded, hulking Dagda, dragging his giant wooden club behind him. He stared into the very souls of each and every one of them. Some of the Fomorians jumped to their feet, but before they had a chance to grab their weapons, the Dagda roared a deafening roar. "Come to me, O my harp." Instantly, the magnificent harp recognized its master's bellow and shot with the speed of a horse from the wall. As it did so, it killed any man who had gotten in its way, and it sprang to its master's hand. So, pretty much think Thor and Mjolnir. Then the Dagda, with 2 warriors still each side of him, set up the harp in front of him and swept across the strings in 3 great intense chords. The harp responded with the magical music of tears. As the haunting harmony attacked the air, the women of the Fomorians lowered their heads and wailed uncontrollably. And of course here it just says the strong men did not shed a tear. They just turned their faces aside in shame. But the little children sobbed, so, I mean, that's something. Once again, the mighty Dagda played the strings of a mystical harp, but this time it was the magical music of mirth. When the chords echoed through the abandoned hall of the castle, the young Fomorian soldiers began to laugh. They could not understand. Their sides were splitting. It was uncontrollable. They laughed so hard they dropped their cups of mead and all the weapons they held tightly in their grasp. The wine flowed from the broken cups all over the stone floor. They laughed until they thought they were actually about to die. And for this, his final time, the Dagda slowly stroked his bewitching hair, but this time, very, very slow, soft and faintly, for now he played the magical music of sleep. Upon hearing this, all Warrior Chieftains, women, soldiers, and children all fell into a deep slumber, and each of them was passed out and comatose, either on the floor or collapsed on the table. The Dagda picked up his magical harp, and he and his golden-haired warriors just walked away to the safety of their own homes once again. So, firstly, I'd just like to say I have always enjoyed this tale. From hearing it numerous times as a child to rereading it as an adult, I've always enjoyed it. I mean, what's not to love? You get warriors, you get gods, you get battles, you get harps. But as many of you may be mythical, legendary, folklore nuts, you may have noticed that a lot of these tales don't usually end quite as nice and quite as peaceful as this one does. More times than not, it's blood, madness, and absolute carnage. I suppose there's nothing like a nice refreshing change. But personally though, folks, if somebody stole my magical instrument, I'm telling you, there'd be some serious trouble. There'd be no music of the sleep. There'd be music of the exploding faces. But I guess all ancient Irish gods just don't have the same anger management issues that I do. I'd just like to say thanks again for listening. Please like, share and comment, because I really would love to hear your guys' thoughts.